Okay, the second type of process based on variety and volume is jobbing. These are the processes that produce products of high variety and low volume, similar to projects, high variety and low volume, but there are some differences. They can be used to make one-off product, unique product, or products in low volume. And they generally produce to customer specifications similar to projects. A feature of a jobbing process is that generally product moves. So that is one difference of a jobbing process from projects, that here generally the product is not too big. It can be moved to the location of transforming resources such as equipment. General purpose equipment is shared between the products. So this is also very important that in job shops we have general purpose equipment that can be used to make a variety of products. Examples are purpose-built tooling, dies, molds, manufacturing of a Formula One car, and we will see a couple of examples in the following slides. So variety is conceptually slightly low than projects and volume is relatively high. So building the dies and molds is an example of a jobbing process, because here you need few types of machines to make a die or mold, and we have one participant in the class. I hope he might share his experience during question answer session. He is aware of this setup. I think they are making such molds and dies. So we need 4 or 5 general machines, and they can be used to make any metallic or plastic die or mold. So dies and molds look something like this for those of you who are not aware of these. And it's not clear here, but there are certain machines, 4 or 5 types of machines where people are working. There are certain standard operations that are performed to make any die or mold, but every die and mold is very different than the other. So product is very different with respect to size or shape or features, but the equipment required to make those dies or molds is the same. But the sequence of operations, of course, will be different. Another example is artificial joints making. So that is an example of jobbing process. So process is not very different from patient to patient or person to person, but we have to make one of a joint or maybe a couple of joints for replacement, but the process is very similar. Another example is making boards of a composite material. So you have to know the specification of the customer, what composite material is required by the customer, and some other technical details. It also takes some time and to make this board, and it also requires some special skills. So jobbing, I didn't mention previously that jobbing does require higher skill of the workers. It requires a lot of craftsmanship. So you can imagine from here that making such boards will require some special expertise and skills on the part of the organization that is making it. So again, you will be making one or few of such boards. So that is an example of a jobbing process. Another example is making drones. Well, that also requires some generic equipment or processes to make any drone. But we don't make too many, and it requires some special skill to make such drones. So in summary, the features of a jobbing process are that responsibility for making the product is normally given to skilled persons, as I mentioned, who decide how best to make it. Craftsmanship is there. Same types of machines or processes are generally grouped together. So the type of layout is the functional layout. So you have similar machines or similar processes grouped together, because we know that every product will need these machines, but sequence of operation for one product might be different than the other product, but all products will require these machines. Workers move products depending upon needed processes. So as I mentioned that the same equipment and processes will be required, but the flow can be different. And jobbing makes special types of product, and generally the order size is small. So this was about jobbing process. If you have any questions, you can ask.